Imagine you move from a place where you lived all your life. Imagine you move and you leave all your children and wife. Starting all over again, but no one you know is around. Well, they didn't have to imagine. They built it up from the ground. How does it sound? Not easy because it isn't. Could have praised them, but it didn't. But the Ray Bond, that's a winner. And they ran straight to the finish. You get to know them up close and personal. Wait, just give me a minute. Welcome to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable. It's just that set the bar, but still the best of all. We are intentional.
Hi, this is the Intentional Immigrants Podcast. Welcome. In thinking about this episode, I was wondering, should I be crying or should I be laughing at my own failure to nail the road test? You get to choose the emotion that I should be displaying. Let me tell you the story. Some weeks ago, my older daughter said to me, "Mommy, you need to upgrade your license." Now, here's a little background. In Alberta, there are two classes of license which allows you to operate a motor car. There's the basic or standard, and then there's the advanced. We will call the standard or basic license baby license, and we will call the advanced adult license. You may be asking, what's the difference between both? With the basic license, you cannot be an accompanying driver to someone who is learning to drive. In other words, you cannot teach a learners. With the advanced, there are no limitations. My daughter's simple request for me to upgrade my license was not a difficult ask. I'm sure you will agree with that. However, it meant that I needed to do something that I should have done years ago. Therein lies the problem. My daughters need to be able to practice their driving skills. For the last couple of months, my husband has been teaching my older daughter to drive. However, most of the time they are with me, so they want to be able to practice their driving skills when they are in the vehicle. When we came to Alberta in 2013, I knew I needed an Alberta driver's license. So in 2014, I decided to go ahead and get my driver's license. Now here was the problem. I was terrified. I was petrified. Fear roared its ugly head at me, and I walked into fear. You may be wondering, what was I so afraid of? First of all, in Canada, we drive on the right. In Jamaica, we drive on the left. That was the first problem I was having. The second problem was the number of highways or the number of lanes on the highways. 3, 4, 5, however many, there were just too many for me. In Jamaica, we have, for the most part, 2 lanes. You're either going up or you're going down. Very simple. There are some portions of the roadway where you have more than 1 lane, but for the most part, it is just 2 lanes. The third fear I had was that of making a turn. I was afraid of making a wrong turn and facing oncoming traffic. Oh, by the way, that actually happened. But that's another story for another time. So using my many fears as an anchor, I decided to get the basic license. Even though my instructor said, "Yolanda, you should go for the advanced license when you're booking your road test." Oh no, why would I do that? Guess what? I went ahead with my fears and I got the basic license. I knew the limitation was that I wouldn't be allowed to teach my daughters to drive. But that was not an issue at the time. I mean, they were 10 and 6. They wouldn't be eligible to drive for several years out. So when my daughter said to me, "Mommy, you need to upgrade," I knew it was time. I said to myself, okay, how difficult can it be? I've been driving for the last 6 years. Shouldn't be difficult at all. When the examiner said to me on the day of the road test, he said to me, "Make an uphill park," I went blank. Because you know what? I had done no practicing, no preparation at all for the test. I didn't look at the book. I didn't practice uphill parking. I didn't practice parallel parking. No, nothing at all. Nothing fancy. Nada. Needless to say, I failed the road test. Not nailed, failed. After the road test, I went to pick up my daughter from work. She was so excited. She said, "Mommy, let me drive, let me drive." When I didn't exit the vehicle, she said to me, "Mommy, don't tell me you failed it. You never did take it seriously anyways. You never did any practice." Now that statement got me thinking. My response to her at the time was, failure to prepare in life leads to success at failing. There is a quote that says, "He who fails to plan, plans to fail." Yes, my family laughed at me and they are disappointed that I didn't get the advanced driver's license. I laugh at myself because of my failure to prepare. If I had done the necessary groundwork, then our circumstances would change. We are all on this journey called life. However, your circumstances can change if you do the necessary preparation which is required in your daily decisions. That will impact what happens in your life overall. If you're new to Alberta and you're going to be upgrading your license, whether you're coming from out of country or whether you're coming from another province, my recommendation is that instead of going for the baby or basic license, that you go ahead and go for the advanced license. If you're gonna be taking the test anyway, you have to take your road test anyway. Why not go for the license that will give you the most bang for your buck? And it will also be able to help you with your job hunt. In other words, it's just the best license for you. And perchance you have a child that you will need to be teaching to drive or assisting with their driving skills. You won't have to upgrade your license like I did. You will just need to renew the license if it's expired. When I came to Canada 7 years ago, I was afraid. I'm not certain what was the fear when I was doing my driving test or doing my road test or signing up for my road test. I'm not certain. Looking back, I really see that there was no basis for fear. But fear does not need a reason. I was afraid of driving on the right. I was afraid of the number of highways. I was afraid of making a wrong turn and going into oncoming traffic. Those were the fears that held me back. And as such, I made the decision years ago just to get a basic or standard license. Fast forwarding to today, I failed the test because I did not prepare. And that is the crux of the matter. I can't go back and change the decision I made years ago, but I could have done things differently. I could have done the necessary preparation so that I could have a different outcome. I could have nailed the test instead of failing the test. Our immigrant guests for the last 3 months gave us the secret to their success. They shared their personal stories of challenges, hope, and resiliency. As business owners, they told us the importance of preparation. Learn from my mistake. Do the necessary groundwork. Failure to prepare in life means success at failing. This has been Season 1. If there's a guest you would like to hear from, email your recommendation to intentionalimmigrants@gmail.com. The Intentional Immigrants podcast is available on Google Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, and Podbean. Please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for Season 2. We will be taking a little break and then we will start Season 2. I am your host, Yolanda Jack, reminding you, whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4. You were born for greatness. Step out into your greatness so that mankind can benefit from you being here. Remember, we are intentional immigrants. Be intentional today.
Just give me a minute. Welcome to the front row. Can I get a drum roll? Intentional. We may be immigrants, but we are still intentional. We are dependable, it's just that set the bar, but still the best of all. We are intentional.